Hi everybody, I'm Jim Gath with Tierra Madre Horse and Human Sanctuary, and I'd like to welcome you today to our very first premier videocast and virtual fundraiser. All right, we generally do a major fundraiser every year, and we usually do it at a place, and a lot of people show up, and we have dinner, you know, the typical fundraiser thing. But because of COVID-19 and so on, we decided that might not work this year. And also, this would give us an opportunity to introduce you to the ranch, to the horses, to the people who are involved with Tierra Madre and make it work on a daily basis. And so that's what we're going to do today. I'll tell you a little bit about our mission. As I said, we'll introduce you to some of the horses and tell you a few of their stories and tell you what it takes to keep this place running. Okay, so if you want to come in, you're in our gates. Welcome to our home. It's funny, when I first moved in here, I had a boarding facility. We probably had about 11 boarders, but at the time, because I had taken in a bunch of horses that had nowhere else to go, then I had like 13 of my own. And I was standing right here, and I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone, and I said, "Damn it, Holly, I'm upside down. I've got 11 boarders, and I got 13 horses of my own. I'm upside down." And she said 5 words that created Tierra Madre right on the spot. She said, "Jim, you're all they've got." And that hit me like a God shot. Right when I was standing in this very spot, I realized all of a sudden that was my mission in life, is to take as many horses as I could and to give them a happy, healthy life after they'd been through some really bad challenges. Look at this. We'll get some of this dirt off of here. Let's get some of this dirt. Oh, butt scratch. We like the butt. Who doesn't like that butt scratch? And so this is where Tierra Madre Horse Sanctuary started, which became Tierra Madre Horse and Human Sanctuary. And it was a long time ago, and I had no idea that it would get to be what it is today.
What does Tierra Madre mean for horses? It means that they have a home for the rest of their lives.
Here at Tierra Madre, the horses are allowed to just be horses.
Some of these horses were surrendered by loving owners who couldn't take care of them anymore.
Some of these horses are older and have medical challenges.
Some of these horses are retired from the racetracks.
Some of these horses were abused beyond all belief and needed a safe place to heal.
No matter what the circumstances or who they are, all of these horses have one thing in common.
These horses are happy, healthy, and home.
You know, here at Tierra Madre, we generally have between 27 and 29 horses, 30 horses. Right now we have 29, and we don't have time today for me to introduce you to all of them, so we're going to give you the story about 4 of them. All right, but so let's go meet the first one. Let's go talk to Mr. All right, let me tell you a little bit about this guy. This is Mr. I got a phone call one day from a friend of mine who was out at the racetrack, and she said, Jim, this horse just broke his knee in a race, and if he doesn't get out of here, this was on a Monday, if he doesn't get out of here, then he'll put him on the slaughter truck on Wednesday. And I said, bring him over. I had the doc look at him, and he had a slab fracture of his right knee. And it took a good 8-9 months before he started to get better. And then, because he put all his weight on the other foot, he developed like the worst series of abscesses ever. And we had to work all summer long to try to save his life, actually, at that point. He was laid up really for like 2 years. The doctor said, you know, Jim, I think he's ready to turn out into the arena. And it was, like I say, almost 2 years to the day from when he hobbled off that trailer. And I said, Doc, I ain't letting him out without you being here with me. So he came over, we took Mr. out to the arena, and I turned him loose, and he ran around that arena 3 times, screaming and hollering as fast as he could. He said, wow, I am free. And after 2 years, when we didn't know if we were gonna make it or not, he's back, and he's back real well.
He is super sweet. You have to get to know him first. He's a very big, strong horse. I was actually scared of him at first. And then I got more and more used to him, more and more confident near him. Once I started to get used to like how big he was and how just like he was so gentle with me, and just he's always now like been gentle. Like sometimes I'm not that confident, so it's kind of just like it's like a thing that just goes together. He's just there, like he'll come up to you, he'll like want to interact with you, he'll want you to pet him, he'll want you to scratch him, he like will go up to anyone, and he just knows, he's like, hi, like I'll be a friend of yours. So he's actually getting arthritis in his knee right now, just because like as it goes on after that break, it's starting to get arthritis like a human would. And so we're putting this thing called Surpass on it, so it helps with the swelling around the horse, around his knee. And then we also put a horse ice pack. It's like a leg wrap, and we just ice it for probably like 20-30 minutes. There's some days where he like acts like nothing is wrong. Like you could see him out in the arena and he'd be running around. You wouldn't even think like he had a broken knee or anything. Then there's some days where he'll like limp around. So it depends on like how hard he works it. Like if he runs a bunch in the arena, like he'll start limping home.
He was out the other day, and of course he overdoes it when he gets out there, don't we? Yeah, we overdo it, so then you come back with a sore knee. You know something, this kid was only 4 years old, and he was less than 48 hours away from being killed. You know, there's no reason why some horse like that shouldn't have a chance at the longest life he could possibly have, right? You know, especially horses, too many of them don't get that. Too many humans don't get that. And that's what we do here at Tierra Madre Horse and Human Sanctuary, isn't it?
So the day-to-day operations, we have usually 4 to 8 volunteers every day, and we have pretty much a list of set chores that we have to do every day. We muck all the stalls, we empty, clean, refill all the water, so basically if any volunteers get thirsty, they could drink out of the water because it is that clean. We clean out the feeders, we sweep off the mats. Most of the horses have grindings, but it still looks pretty if you sweep off the mats, but our goal is to have none of them be eating off the ground because we've had some issues with sand in some of their stomachs, so we want to avoid that. Oh, we fly spray right now during this season, about 6 to 8 months out of the year. I think we fly spray them every day. We also have the farrier who comes every Tuesday, and he usually trims 3 or 4 horses every week. And then we also feed lunch. They get fed 3 times a day, so we feed the lunch at lunchtime. We also prepare all the mashes and stuff. They get mashes and their supplements and everything morning, and some get additional at night. There's a lot of medicines that have to be handed out and fed. So we take care of all of that. We prepare them. We feed. There's some that get fed at lunchtime, so we take care of those. Our horses do get turned out. About half of them get turned out every single day, and then the rest go out and cruise. When they get their arena time, they can go out there and run around. They can go out there and sit, they roll, they play, but it's just their time. So we do turnouts constantly all morning. And then once all those things are done, we love on the horses. Everybody, grab a brush, grab a comb, pet your favorite horse, brush your favorite horse, give it attention. As a donor, if you're not able to be here to put in the labor like all of us are privileged enough to be able to do, your donation helps us. It gets us those rakes and those carts and those buckets and the supplements and the farrier fees. I mean, that helps us continue to do what we do.
We never go to livestock auctions, but we did make an exception one time. There were some horses that were rounded up off the reservation, and Alexis and I decided to go to see if we could save one or more. And we did, and we came home with Journey.
A couple of years ago, Jim and Alexis got word from the Salt River Wild Horse Management Group that a group of Mustangs had wandered off of the reservation and had been rounded up, and that some or all of them had ended up in an auction. So Alexis and Jim went to the auction and were able to bring Journey back to Tierra Madre. She also had a colt at that time and that came with her, and she was a little wild Mustang. She was completely unapproachable. She just had been living out and not cared for. She was loved by everyone, but still a wild horse. She had to endure something pretty unbearable after she got here, and that was we found out that she was pregnant when she got here. Unfortunately, the foal didn't live, and it was a traumatic. She had to go to the hospital for a little stay, and when she came back, it was pretty much a turning point for her.
All of a sudden, one day, she went from not trusting to trusting. I think she just had a thing that said, something, these guys seem okay, I'm going to give them a shot.
I spent much time just standing in her stall, standing next to her, putting my hand on her, and learning from her. I wanted to start working with her off the halter and having her come and be with me and want to play with me. Because when something that's wild decides that they're going to trust you, it makes you step up your game. It makes you want to be that person that they want to trust, that they need you to be for them to trust. Over a period of several months, we've just had so much fun. I come Tuesday and Thursday mornings before I go to work. We go out in the round pen, and she has just been amazing ever since. I think it might have been the wild thing that drew her to me. And as a matter of fact, that's kind of what Jim and I called her in the beginning, was Wild Thing. She just had that look in her eyes like she could take on the world. She embraces life and she's ready to go, and she's so in the moment. And that's another thing she's taught me, is just stay right here, right now. You can't be looking for the next thing. You have to be present with me right now, and then we can have fun.
You know, probably the biggest concentration of horses that we have here are thoroughbreds, ex-race horses off the track. And there's one in particular that's interesting because he self-retired. He'd had 112 races, and in the middle of his last race, in the middle of the stretch, he's just said, I can't do this anymore. And he kind of gave it up, and that's the Ironman.
Ironman was born August 21st, 1998. He is a retired racehorse. He was born in Santiago, Chile. His race horse name was Coloreado, but we call him Ironman. Ironman raced in 112 races. In Ironman's last race, mid-race, he just stopped and said, I'm done. I'm done racing. I think Ironman stopped racing because he was over it and he wanted to do something else with his life, and it was not racing.
You know, this guy, the Ironman, Coloreado, the day he got off the trailer, he'd been living in concrete barns for 9-10 years. And the first night that he was here, I went out to visit him around 9 o'clock at night, and the stars were bright and everything. And Ironman, I got up to him and I said, how you doing, Ironman? He said, I'm doing good, but Jimmy, what is that up there? What are those things up there? I said, Ironman, those are stars, son. And that is your ceiling from now on.
Being a retired racehorse, one of the ways racehorses release endorphins is they sway their heads back and forth. You'll see it, it's very common. And I noticed when I started volunteering here that in his stall, he does that quite often. And so I just one day thought, what if I take him out and start giving him a ton of attention in this, what we call the round pen, play with him, bathe him, give him a mash, spend time with him, what would come of that? I started doing that about a year ago, and I thought I was just gonna take him out and he was gonna have some fun here and, you know, let go of some anxiety. I had no idea that I was gonna be forming a friendship and he was gonna become my best friend in life. About 2 years ago, Ironman got a corneal ulcer. And usually with round-the-clock medicine, we get on top of those and we can help them resolve on their own. But his got really bad. And so we had to make the tough decision to remove his eye. And what's so unique about that situation is we were all worried about what was his personality going to be when he came back with one eye. I mean, this is a retired racehorse. He walked through those gates the day he came back home after his surgery, went right to his stall, and he was just Ironman. It didn't faze him one bit. It hasn't changed his personality. It hasn't changed how he sways his head, nothing. And that has just really taught me, along with everybody else at the ranch, that bad things can happen to you, but you can recover from them and you can still be the same person, the same animal that you were before it happened.
Over the years, we've had, I think it's 64 or 65 horses total that called Tierra Madre home. And of course, you know, being their forever home, a lot of them have passed on to the great herd. That's our greatest act of love that we can do. We love them while they're standing on all four legs, and then when they can't do that anymore, then we give them the greatest act of love we can and send them to the great herd and take their pain and discomfort away. You know, sometimes we have to deal with pretty dire situations. I got a call not long ago about a horse that was desperately ill. And we did what we had to do, and that horse was here within 90 minutes with the vet tech, and we were treating her, and she's come all the way back, and you're gonna know her as Birdie.
Turkey bird, come here, come here. Birdie was originally Birdie, and she got here, Dr. K helped us get her here. She went out and she was actually taken out there or asked to go out there to euthanize her because she was in such poor condition. Her condition was just horrible. She had a really high fever, and so she hadn't been getting proper water, proper food, anything for an extended period of time. She was so underweight. Her conformation was terrible. That had nothing to do with how she was treated. It was just, she just has poor conformation. And Dr. K saw that she still had spirit and life left in her, and so she immediately contacted Jim and had her come here. She was on her last little leg with her fever of over 105 and so malnourished and just neglected. She was at the breaking point with her spirit. She would have been gone. She would have been euthanized that day if we hadn't taken her. It didn't matter what was wrong with her and how she couldn't hardly walk with her back leg being so bad. I just gave her the opportunity, and she took it, and she just loved it, and you just saw the spark come back in her eyes, and that just made me want to do more for her, and it's like, let's go, let's see what else we can do.
When our horses get here, they face some real challenges. Some have been injured, some have been abused, some have been neglected. You know, they face some real problems in their life, just like so many of us. When they get here, it's amazing to watch over a period of days, weeks, months, whatever, to watch them blossom again. Because each and every horse, just like each and every human, has a distinct personality. They have a distinct soul, a distinct spirit. And to watch that spirit start to thrive, not just survive, but to thrive, is just like the most amazing feeling in the world. There's my little girl.
Today, she's a different little horse. She's the noisiest horse on the ranch. She lets you know if her new best friend Lorraine is not within her sight. She hears you coming, she starts whinnying. She sees you leave, she starts whinnying. She's lets everybody know she's got a place here.
I mean, we've had horses here that their heads hung down. All they wanted to do was, there ain't nothing left, man. I'm just ready to go. And we say, no, you're not. Watch what we do. And we take them and we make them happy and healthy again. And that is the best feeling ever in the universe. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for coming to Tierra Madre Horse and Human Sanctuary. Thanks for meeting our horses. Thanks for meeting our humans. And you know, you can be part of this too. You can help a lot. Your contribution will help in any number of ways. And here's something that's pretty important. Today, your contribution will be doubled. We have someone who is going to do matching funds for all the contributions that are brought in today. So whatever you send in is going to be doubled. And that will make a huge difference to all these horses. And it'll make a huge difference in a whole lot of ways. Let me explain.
With your contribution today, you can make a difference in the lives of our horses in so many ways.
You can provide medicines to the horses who need them.
You can provide a meal to someone who once went hungry.
You could sponsor a vet visit for a horse that needs professional care.
You can provide clean, fresh water for all the horses.
You can make sure ex-racers have a place to call home, whether they break down on the track
or they decided they are ready to retire.
You can provide a clean, comfortable stall for each member of the herd.
You can provide a farrier visit for one of our horses.
You can make sure that our horses aren't bothered by flies in the summertime.
You can provide a safe place for horses like Birdie when they have nowhere else to go.
You can make sure that severely abused horses have the opportunity to learn love and trust on their time.
You can give a new beginning to a horse who would have met a terrible end.
As you can see, there are a lot of ways you can help and a lot of ways you can get involved. And that's what we're asking of you today, to get involved. Get involved with the horses and the humans of Tierra Madre. You know, we've been doing this, saving horses, for 15 years. We've saved scores of horses with help from people like you. And you know, with your help, as part of our family, we're going to do it for another 15 years. Save scores more. So every day around here is a miracle. And it's a miracle thanks to you. Thanks to the help you've given us, and thanks to the help you'll give us in the future. This is what we do. This is what we all do. And I appreciate it. So thanks for coming.
Yo diggity, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing, testing.
Testing, testing.
Testing, testing.
Tierra Madre virtual fundraiser, here we go!
All right, guys, that's it. You've met. All right, you guys, that's it. Welcome.
Right, the horses can just be horses. That's not right.
That's okay.
Oh, hi.
Can't remember at all what I was supposed to say. Okay, never mind.
That was a stumble.
The blooper reel is going to be epic.
That's our family. And start again.
From the Salt River Management Wild Horse. No, I said that wrong.
Oh, what's that thing that she's got? I want it.
And I hope we have a kind of a good time. All right, I don't think there'll be any singing and dancing, though I might break into a dance.
Slayer. Slayer, you're my shot.
Uh-oh. All right, wait, I got it, okay.
And I forgot what I was going to say.
The Tierra...
Have the opportunity to learn...
You didn't have your finger there. I'll start over. It is so hard to look at your finger. You just feel stupid, like you're like...
Here at Tierra Madre, there are many different personalities. And the horses...
Screw the script. So I'm making a lot of these guys talk to like a focal point, like my finger, instead of to the camera. And a bunch of them are like, this is super weird, so I finally started doing this.
And, okay. All of that's, wait, let me start again.
That was good.
No, that was terrible.
That was
okay,
good.
let's try it again.
We'll do it a couple more times.
Okay. Can you look in Alexis? Look. Uh-huh. Oh, wait, I'm connected to you. If I step back, you have to step.
Look like a battle pose.
Yes.
You can provide a farrier visit for one of our horses.
Burbs, you gotta do that right now, honey. Okay, let's do this again.
I'm about done with this today. You're probably about done with this today. And so I want to thank you for coming. And if you're in the area, stop by. If you're not in the area, watch us on social media. And thank you for being a big part of the Tierra Madre family.
That was pretty good. Not bad at all.
Cutie. Hey.